Hey guys, nice to see you there. In today's lesson we're going to look at how John Mayer would play over the Jimi Hendrix song All Along The Watchtower. There are quite a few different versions here on YouTube, but we will look at 3 different ones. The one he played on Made America, the festival, then another one he played with Dead & Company, and the last one is going to be the cover he played with the Zac Brown Band. You're going to learn various phrases and I hope you enjoy. Alright, now this version of All Along Watchtower he plays in the key of C, and you can divide this phrase into 3 parts. Now, first part, that starts out with a 4-step bend up here at the 11th fret of the B string, then the root note here at the high E string, then the 11th fret of the B string, then the root note here at the 8th fret again, then a pull off of your middle finger from the 10th fret to the 8th fret, and then a bend up here at the 11th fret, then the root note here at the E string again, and you repeat this line. Alright, now the second part sounds like this. Again, you start out with a bend up here at the 11th fret, then the root note, then the 10th fret of the E string, then a quarter bend here at the 11th fret on the B string, and then the root note. Sorry. Now third part, that starts out with a bend up here at the 11th fret on B string, then the root note, repeat this, then he slides into the 13th fret, he slides then with his ring finger from the 12th fret to the 10th fret, plays the 8th fret of the G string and then the root note of the D string, then the 10th fret of the G string, the 8th fret of the B string, then the 8th fret of the G string, gives this one a good vibrato and slides into no there, up the neck. Alright, let's check out the next phrase. Alright, now this phrase starts out with a bend up here at the 11th fret of the B string, then the 8th fret of the high E, then a half step bend up at the 11th fret of the E string, then a quick hammer on and pull off from the 8th fret to the 10th fret and back, then the 11th fret of the B string and again the 8th fret of the E string, then you bend up with your middle finger the G string at the 10th fret a 4-step, followed by the 8th fret of the B string and the E string, then a pull off from the 11th fret of the B string to the 8th fret, followed by the 10th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string. Then you play the 8th fret of the G string, gives this note a good vibrato, followed by the 10th fret of the G string, the 8th fret of the B string, and again the 8th fret of the G string. Sorry, I actually said a mistake. It's a bend up here at the G string. Kinda like this. Then he plays the 10th fret of the G string, followed by the 8th fret, then the 8th fret and the 10th fret of the D string, then again the 8th fret of a G string and the root note, and in the end he plays the 8th fret of a G string in a staccato style manner and bends this up just a little bit. Alright, now in this version with that in company, he plays on the key of B. Now it starts out with a double string bend here at the 12th fret. He catches the B string and the E string, kind of like Stevie Ray Vaughan did. He bends this up a 4th step, and he's really digging into the strings, keep that in mind. When he comes back down to the 12th fret, he gives also good vibrato. Then he hammers on onto the 12th fret, bends out the 10th fret just a little bit. Then the 12th fret of B string, followed by the 10th fret, and then again the 12th fret. Then again a hammer on the E string, and again a bend up. Then after that, the line he plays starts out at the 7th fret of the E string. Then a pull off at the B string from the 10th fret to the 7th fret. And then a slide from the 10th fret of the G string to the 9th fret. And then normally he plays the 7th fret, he would play the 7th fret. But he jumps over to the D string, plays the 9th fret, then the 7th fret, and then at the A string the 9th fret. This is kind of unusual for him. Then he plays root note. And when he plays the 7th fret of a G string, then the 9th fret of a D string, and repeats this twice. Alright, now the next phrase he plays starts out with unison bend. That means while you bend up the 10th fret of a B string, you play also the root note here, the 7th fret of the high E string. And then you get this really crying sound, sorrowing sound rather. Then he plays the root note on the high E string again. Pulls off from a 10th fret of B string to the 7th fret. And he does the classic blues lick. Bends up with his middle finger the 9th fret, a 4th step. Plays the 7th fret of a B string and the high E string. Then again he pulls off. Then he bends up the 9th fret, a 4th step. Comes back down. Pulls off to the 7th fret. Plays the root note here at the 9th fret of a D string. And in the end, he plays the 4th step bend up at the 9th fret in a staccato style manner. Plays the 7th fret on the G string, gives this note a good vibrato, and then you can see him slide up. In this version, John Mayer is tuned down a half step, and he plays in the A pentatonic. I'm tuned to standard tuning, so keep in mind I'm gonna play in the G sharp pentatonic. Now if you see a mismatch on the frets in the video, don't be confused. Now he starts off the first solo by sliding, I think it's sliding into the 11th fret, into the 3rd pentatonic box at the G string, then playing the 9th fret of B string, then a 12th fret, then a 4th step bend up, and he holds that for quite some time. Then he plays the 9th fret of a high E string, the does a pull off from a 12th fret to the 9th fret, then plays the 11th fret of G string, then does a hammer on and pull off from a 9th fret to a 12th fret of B string, then again the 11th fret of a G string, then he plays the root note here again and gives that note a good vibrato, then plays the 11th fret of G string again and back to root note, and then in the end he does a little bend up here at the 12th fret of B string. Now then he continues with 4 bends at the 14th fret of the B string. It's 4 4-step bends. Then he goes to a high E string, plays with his index finger the 12th fret and the 11th fret. Then again twice we bend up. Then with his middle finger he plays the 13th fret and bends up to a 14th fret twice. Then he plays the 12th fret with his index finger and plays the root note here at the 13th fret on a G string. And then he slides down. Alright, now for this phrase he's in the first position of a pentatonic, in this case the G sharp pentatonic. And it starts out by hammering on from a 4th fret to a 6th fret, playing the 4th fret of a D string, then the 6th fret of the A string, then he hammers on the root note, slides into the 7th fret and back. This is really fast. Then he plays the 4th fret of a G string and bends this up just a little, and then stops the note with his right hand. Then he continues and starts off his next phrase the exact same way, but this time he slides on the G string. Actually very cool to see and a very nice soloing technique. Keep in mind that you don't have to have another soloist on the stage to do call and response with yourself. You can play motives in a row. You can play the same lick and repeat it with a different variation in the end to keep your solos interesting. This is a big takeaway I think from this lick. And yeah, alright, let's check out the next phrase. Alright, this is by far the most difficult lick. He starts out here at the root note at the 9th fret on B string. Plays the 7th fret on the E string. Then twice he does a 4-step bend up at the 9th fret on the E string. And he now does a double string bend on the 9th fret. He again catches the B and E string. Sorry. I said it's difficult. Then plays the 7th fret on the E string and plays the root note twice. He gives the root note always a good vibrato. Then he pulls out from the 9th fret to the 7th fret, plays the root note again, plays the 7th fret on the E string, and then he again pulls off and hammers on. He then continues by playing the 6th fret on the E string, pulling off from the 9th fret to the 7th fret on B string, plays the 8th fret on the G string, then hammers on onto the root note, he does this twice in a row. Then he puts up from 9th fret on the E string to the 7th fret, and does this also on the B string. Then he does a big bend up here on the E string, and he continues to hold that for, I think it's like 2 bars. And now he has feedback on the stage, so keep that in mind, he's actually going for feedback from the amp. And after those 2 bars, he's gonna bend up the E and B string just a half step with his middle finger on the 8th fret. And again, he's gonna play a root note after that. And then he continues into a fast Stevie Ray Vaughan style lick. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, please leave a comment and tell me what was your favorite lick. And subscribe to my channel, it really helps a lot. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.